On a cold, blustery afternoon, we welcome you in to Leslie B. Quick Stadium and Robin Ershman Field for today's broadcast of Delaware Valley University football, as the Delaware Valley Aggies, ranked number 15 in the country, look for their 8th Middle Atlantic Conference championship, taking on their arch rival, the Widener University Pride. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's audio-only broadcast of the Keystone Cup matchup and the regular season finale, as Delaware Valley University takes a shot at winning a conference championship and an automatic bid into the 2018 NCAA Division III playoffs. Gordon Mann flying solo on what is a crisp but clear autumn afternoon. A few wispy clouds blowing through the air in the tree-encircled field here at Widener University. It is cold, but it is clear, no precipitation, wind whipping around. We will pause now for the national anthem as the Aggies come out of the locker room and get ready for the kickoff. Presentation of the color at Widener. A long history with the military reserve program.
We ask that you remain standing as we honor America and those who defend our freedom at home.
Very nice rendition of the national anthem by the band here at Widener, the marching band, with a performance before the game. I don't know that I've seen that too often, a performance on the field, a long senior day festivities here. What is an eventful day at Widener University. They had a event to raise money and support for autism. They had the Chester Fire Department here, and then a recognition of the seniors for Widener, both in the band and the cheerleaders, and about 15 to 16 seniors on the Widener roster. Well, a lot on the line for both teams today. Let's run it down for you. Delaware Valley enters today's game ranked 15th in the country, 4th in the region, but most importantly, they are tied for first in the Middle Atlantic Conference with the Misericordia University Cougars. If Delaware Valley wins today, they win the conference championship. Misericordia could still share it with them with a win at Lycoming, but Delaware Valley, by virtue of the conference's tiebreakers, would get the automatic bid into the playoffs. If Delaware Valley loses today and Misericordia wins, then the Cougars would represent the conference in the NCAA playoffs, and Delaware Valley would play in the Max Centennial Bowl as the top seed next week. They would be on the road somewhere. Also in the conference title picture, although we haven't talked about them in a while, is Stevenson University. The Mustangs, if Delaware Valley and Misericordia both lose today, the Mustangs could win the conference's automatic bid. Stevenson is playing at FDU Florham. And those three teams, Misericordia, Delaware Valley, and Stevenson, whichever two do not get the automatic bid, will head to the Max Centennial Bowl. Below that, there is a mess of 5 teams who could all make that third and final slot in the Max Centennial Bowl playoffs. And one of them is Widener. So both teams with postseason hopes on the line. Delaware Valley coming into this game 8-1, Widener 4-5, but 4-3 in conference. And the Aggies will kick it into a still wind, a high and short kick fielded at the 15, and then up to the 20, the 30, and about the 33-yard line for the Pride to start things off. Let's get you the Widener University starting offense. It will be the freshman Mitchell Vierling who will start at quarterback for Widener. Freshman from Warminster, Pennsylvania. His running back will be Johnny Bauer. Dante Harrell, who's normally in the starting lineup, is hurt today and will not play. Ryan Gallagher, Jared Reinhart, Ben Sibilla, and Pat Downey are the 4 wide receivers. As on first down, it's a handoff, and not a whole lot there, maybe a yard or so for Johnny Bauer before Vincent DeLeo tackles him. Offensive line for the Pride looks like this. Senior Brian Miller, the lone senior in the starting lineup for Coach Mike Kelly. Nathan Pizzini is the left guard. Bobby Cristello, the sophomore center. Will Pope, my mistake. Pope is also a senior. He's the right guard. And Ryan Stecklin is the right tackle. Widener has shuffled quarterbacks between Sean McGackey and Mitchell Vierling this year. Mitchell getting the start. Both players played last week in the muck at FDU Florham, where Widener was beaten 21-17. 2nd and 9, and Vierling will go shotgun. Good protection. The pass is incomplete. A flag flies into the line, and we'll check on the flag. It would be 3rd and a long 8, maybe call it 9, but we'll see what the flag is, and it is apparently a holding penalty or a block below the waist on the Pride. Well, it's you don't see that too often. It's a illegal block below the waist on 2 guys, so it only counts once, but it does move Widener back to about their own. Well, it's going to move them close to the 20. It's 2nd and about 24 for the Pride. Wind whipping around, although still at the moment here. It's a bold stadium, meaning it's kind of below ground level here in Chester. Vierling takes the snap, dumps the ball off, and the ball is dropped and incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 24. Johnny Bauer could not find the handle, and it'll be 3rd and very long for the Pride here on their first drive. Wind sending papers and signs and blankets flying all over the place in the stands here. Near side, bathed in sun, has the press box. The far side has this shade, and some savvy Del Val fans have made their way out of the shade into the sun-covered part of the stands, as now we have a whistle and a stoppage of play. It'll be 3rd and 24 for the Pride, first possession of the game. 1-yard pickup on first down, and then a 15-yard penalty putting them in this situation. Handoff, and conservative play call. Johnny Bauer gets it to about the 25. He's going to be, about 17 yards short of a first down, and the Pride will bring the punting unit onto the field. Widener punter is Michael Raczak from Jameson, Pennsylvania. Chavez Stewart back for Delaware Valley. Chavez with 2 punt returns for a score in his career. And this one will take a bounce and roll sideways and be downed at about the Delaware Valley 39. Wind sending golden leaves spiraling through the air. It looks like we're in a snow globe here, just with leaves instead of faux snow. Well, that gives us a chance to give you the Delaware Valley Aggies starting offense. First along the front, sophomore left tackle Corey Shriver. Dante Reynolds, the left guard. Jeremy Adams is the center. Hess Jenkins is the right guard. And junior Michael Cooper is the right tackle. Deshaun Darden starting his 37th game at quarterback. Senior out of the shotgun. And Darden will fake the handoff, keep it himself. And Darden slams forward to about the 43-yard line. Pick up a 4 for Darden on first down. Aggies running backs today, Quadir Struthers and Austin O'Neill. Struthers is the running back. O'Neill is the primarily a blocking fullback. You'll also see some of Mario Nigro today. Wide receivers for the Aggies, the official starters, Chavez Stewart and John Graham, but the Aggies play a lot of different guys at that position. Struthers flanks to the right side, and the Aggies will give it to Quadier, and Quadier runs over a man and bounces forward to about the 48-yard line, call it the 47. Big collision, but modest pickup for Quadier, and it'll bring up a 3rd and short for Delaware Valley. Deshaun Darden of Delaware Valley, primarily threat with his legs. He does throw the ball. This isn't an option offense. But Darden in the top 10, actually now top 5 all-time in rushing touchdowns in Aggies history. 3rd and short here for Del Val on their first drive of the game. And Darden will throw it. Passes, should have been complete to Chavez Stewart, but Stewart drops it. And that is the way the drive comes to an end. Darden hit Stewart, split the ones, but Stewart didn't make the catch. And the Aggies will have to punt it away. Couldn't throw it any better than that. Stewart was completely uncovered. He just didn't catch it. So there's a break for Widener, because that would have been a first down at the 50 or better. That brings the All-American punter and one of 3 senior captains for Delaware Valley onto the field. That's Stephen Adams. Long snap from Burt Robinson. Adams handles it, gets it away. It is a high spiraling kick. Johnny Bowers circles underneath it and will let it bounce and roll out of bounds inside the Widener 15. Good kick from Adams. And the Widener Pride will start their second possession deep in their own territory. It's been an interesting season for Coach Mike Kelly and Widener. Started the season with a double overtime loss to Rowan University. The Aggies are their biggest rival in conference at this point, but Rowan, a regional rival just across the river here in the Philadelphia region. Then Delaware Valley lost to Lycoming in a game that did not count in the conference standings. That was a non-conference game with the unbalanced schedule this year. And then Widener lost to Misericordia on a 2-point conversion at the end of the game. Get back to that in a moment. Veerling's pass is tipped and falls short of the intended receiver. Delaware Valley's Billy Walsh the nearest to it. Finelli knocking the ball down at the line. Dan Finelli with 3 sacks last week for Del Val. Finelli getting increased minutes with the injury to Christian Snowden. The Aggies would be all-conference, and he still may be all-conference senior defensive end who was injured a couple weeks ago against Albright. Here Veerling takes a snap, throws it down the field, and looking way too long down the sideline. Senior Khalil Petty in coverage. Pass is overthrown. It'll be 3rd and 10 for Widener. As Veerling was looking for Pat Downey, and we have a roughing the passer penalty on Del Val. And so Pride, instead of having a 3rd and 10 from deep in their own territory, will have it 1st and 10 from about their own 30. So bad mistake there from Del Val's Anthony Tedisco. And the Pride still looking for their first play of the day that would pick up positive more than a yard or two beyond the first down marker. 11:47 to play. We are scoreless. 3rd drive of the game. Both teams went 3 and out in their first. Veerling takes a snap. Throw across the middle. Pass is juggled and caught, they're going to say. Anthony Tedisco makes the tackle. Pickup of about 3 for the Pride. Let's get you the Delaware Valley starting defense. We mentioned that Christian Snowden is out with an injury. Your defensive ends are the Bruce brothers, the 2 twins from Brick, New Jersey, Anthony and Michael Nobile. Kenyon Jones, the nose guard. Michael Nobile in the top 5 in the country for tackles for loss per game. Outside linebackers Vinny DeLeo and Ryan Barrett. We'll get you the rest of the Aggies defense in a moment. It's 2nd and 6 here. Veerling goes out of the shotgun. Decent protection. Pass is thrown and catch is made. And going to be, well, see where they mark him. He actually ran backwards from the first down marker, but they're going to give him forward progress. And a first down for the Pride. DeAndre Sapp with the reception. So the Pride moving the ball 1st and 10 now from their own 40. Inside linebackers for Del Val, Tedisco and Billy Walsh. Cornerbacks are Rasheek Harvard and Cleo Petty. And the safeties Blaine Netterman and Anthony Thomas. Widener with the ball, 1st and 10 at their own 40, 10:26 to play in a scoreless first quarter. Here comes the blitz. Vierling gets it away, catch is made, and a pickup of about 4 or 5 as Anthony Nobile knocks down Vierling, but Vierling does manage to dump the ball off to Pat Downey for about 3. Vierling had to backpedal there, and so kind of cut that pattern a little shorter than he would have liked. Johnny Bauer checks back into the game. And Vierling goes back out of the shotgun. I think he'll be shotgun most of the afternoon. 2 wide receivers to the top of the formation, 1 to the bottom. Handoff goes to Bauer, and Bauer across the line of scrimmage up to about the 46, call it, of Widener. 3rd and 4. Michael Nobile makes the tackle. And his brother also there, and it's 3rd and actually closer to 3 for the Pride. They'll mark it just short of their own 47. Vierling out of the shotgun, about 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Johnny Bauer is 2 or 3 yards beyond him. So a very deep formation there. And now they're going to shorten it up a little. Vierling perhaps changing the play call at the line. Play clock down to 3. Gets it off, hands it off to Bauer, and Bauer is going to be short of the first down by about a yard. 4th and 1, 4th and maybe less than that. See what the Pride want to do. They're going to go for it. Why not? Widener taking their time to make a decision here, but has left their offense on the field. They bring big Ben Gates into the line, and now Mike Kelly is going to call a timeout to talk things over. 4th and 1 for Widener, midway through the first quarter. We are scoreless. They're going to actually measure. I mean, he's clearly short of the first down by enough that you can see green between the ball and the first down, where he would need to get for the first down mark. But they're going to, Kelly wants to know exactly how much he needs here. Scoreboard update for you. We mentioned all the playoff possibilities. A couple of games started early today. Stevenson, who's kind of one of the few teams in the conference doesn't really have a natural rival, is playing FDU Florham, who's in that same boat. Although Florham has a chance to play in the EC8 or in the Mac Centennial Bowl with a win. And Stevenson knows they'll be in the playoffs in one way or another, just a matter of which one. And so far the Mustangs shutting out FDU Florham. It is 14-0. Widener needs two different teams to lose today. In addition to winning this one, Widener needs Florham to lose and Wilkes to lose. 4th and less than a yard. Vierling with a man in motion, takes a snap, pushes forward, and it looks like he's got it. Needed a yard and just did get that. First down, Widener. Kenyon Jones, the senior, in the middle of the line, along with Mike Merlino. And this drive, again, would have been 3rd and 10 from deep in Widener territory, but Delaware Valley with a personal foul to jumpstart the Pride's offense, and they've picked up a couple of first downs since. Mentioned that Widener needs Kings to beat Wilkes to get into the Mac Centennial Bowl, and that's also happening. It's 13-0 Widener on top. Pass complete, and a nice move, and then the wide receiver slips and falls inside Delaware Valley territory, very close to the first down marker. It's going to be a yard short. Little quick dump off there for Widener. Is Pat Downey with his second reception. And it'll be 2nd and 1 from the Delaware Valley 40. Widener with a 2nd and short from inside Del Val territory now. Veerling takes a shotgun snap, fakes the handoff, rolls to the right side, passes deflected and picked off. No, they're going to say incomplete. Nearly picked off. Kenyon Jones deflected it, and then Michael Nobile just narrowly missed, scooting under the ball for a odd pick. Instead, it'll be 3rd and short. Nobile is extremely athletic. Kenyon Jones creating havoc in the backfield there. And that, is, I think, was designed to be a screen pass, but it'll be 3rd and 1 for the Widener Pride from the Del Val 40. Veerling shotgun yet again. Downey in motion. Pass is thrown, caught by Downey. Downey with all kinds of space, 40-35. And a flag is going to back them up. This first down isn't going to count. It's a first down, but only for the moment. I think they're going to get one of the wide receivers for a holding penalty. Now they're saying it's against the Aggies. No, I was going to say, that's got to be holding on the... Yeah. So that's a holding penalty on whichever wide receiver was blocking for Downey downfield. And instead of an 8-yard gain, that will take the Pride. I think it's from the spot of the foul, which would be the 35. Take it to the... Yeah, it's going to take it to the 45 of Widener. It ends up being a modest, well, it's a loss. You get the gain off the pass, but then you take 10 yards off. It's going to end up being about 3rd and 6 for the Pride. 6:33 and counting in a scoreless first quarter. Widener sideline talking with Ben Sibilla, one of the many, many wide receivers for Widener. They run a very wide open formation. Veerling takes the snap, has excellent time. Pass is thrown, caught by Bauer. First down and more. 30-25 and down to the Delaware Valley 20. A pickup of close to 30 yards, and now here comes another late flag. Big pickup from Bauer there. Beautifully designed play as Bauer was wide open. Big pickup. And see what the personal foul is. That's a personal foul on Del Val, 2nd of this drive. Half the distance to the goal for the Pride as Anthony Thomas is the victim. These two teams had a scrum in the pregame warm-ups, actually kind of the pre-warm-ups around 11:15. As emotions running high here and not to Delaware Valley's advantage on this drive. 1st and goal for Widener from the Delaware Valley 10. Ben Gates checks into the game for Widener. Graham Jesperson checks out. And now Johnny Bauer, who had that big catch and run, back in at tailback. 1st and goal. Veerling with the pitch. And pickup of, well, not very much. Might have got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Tedesco makes the tackle on Tahir Cruz, and there's going to be no gain, so 2nd and goal from the 10. Pride with a good time-consuming drive here. 5:12 to play in the first quarter. We are still scoreless as Veerling now has Bauer to his right and fakes the handoff to Bauer. Looking, looking, under pressure, pass is thrown and picked off by Delaware Valley as Vierling just flings it towards the end zone. Ball is fumbled loose, and do the Pride have it? No, the Aggies have it. So Vierling with a terrible decision. As he's about to get sacked, he just flings it towards the end zone, and all white jerseys around it. And the Aggies with the interception hold the Pride out of the end zone. Wow, just a bad decision by the freshman there. I don't know where he was looking, but threw it right to the wrong team. So the Aggies will come out on offense deep in their own territory, but at least the game is still tied. Darden with Mario Nigro to his left and Quadier Struthers in motion. Nigro gets the carry, and Nigro running very, very hard, as he usually does, across the 15 up to about the 17 or 18. It's going to be a pickup of close to 6 for Nigro on first down. Cole Cusinelli with the tackle, to the delight of his large family contingent right in front of us. We'll get you the Widener defense here in just a second. Second and a long 5 for Del Val. Darden rolling out, pass is thrown, caught by Struthers. Struthers tries to make a man miss and does not get very much, if anything. And now he's going to get, he should have got 15 yards. He got thrown out of bounds way after the play was over. Wow, I don't know how that wasn't a penalty. That was actually Dan Allen who made the catch, and Allen was 4 or 5 yards deep on the sideline when he got tackled. And they're going to say Allen lost 2 yards. So Darden will have Marquise Ellis to the top of the formation. Jawan Manigo to the bottom. As a 3rd and 6 for the Aggies. Darden takes a snap. Here comes the pressure. Pass is thrown, caught by Stewart. Stewart gets a pick, gets to the 35, the 40, the 45, the 50, the 40 of Widener, and pulled down at the 33-yard line of the Pride. Chavez Stewart atones for the missed pass play there, and now yet another late flag comes in well after the play was over on the sideline. I think it's could it be a sideline warning? The first down will count, but we'll see where the ball is spotted. .3:11 to play, first half, first down of the game for the Aggies. And it might just be a sideline warning. Now Delaware Valley with an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Anthony Tedesco, who is the middle linebacker, so obviously not in that play. On the sideline, Tedesco picks up an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and boy, absolutely no excuse for that. That moves the ball back into Widener territory back into Aggies territory at the 46. It's still a first down. Handoff, Nigro. Nigro makes a man miss. He's into Widener territory, and down at the Widener 42-yard line, Nigro runs for 14 yards. Jordan Powell, one of the seniors for the Pride, makes the stop. Defensive line for Widener, Darren DeLauro, Vince Char, who was an All-American last year, Jalen Singleton, and Alex Kaufman. The linebackers, Cole Cusinelli, Shane Mulhern, and Sammy Ballard. The corners, Powell, who just made that tackle, Wells Dotson, and then your safeties, Brian Armstrong and Ben Simonica. Handoff, Quadier Struthers. Struthers makes a man miss to the 35 and down to about the 33. Very close to another Aggies first down. He's going to be a yard short, and that'll be 2nd and 1. Shane Mulhern makes the tackle. And the Aggies with a short yardage situation on their second drive of the game. Started at about their own 13. Darden fakes the handoff, keeps it himself. Darden around the right side, 30, 25, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Deshaun Darden! The Golden Legs deliver again, and Darden puts the Aggies in front. It is 6-0. Darden, such a threat to run. Garrett turns that corner and turns on the Jets. And for Darden, I believe that's his 8th rushing touchdown of the season. Darden is in the top 10 in the conference in rushing yards. Extra point, and those could be adventurous today with the wind. Nick Restaino on hold will come from Steven Adams. Robinson's snap is there, hold is there, kick is away, and it is good. So with 1:47 to play in the first quarter, the Aggies get a pick, and a big pick-me-up from Deshaun Darden, who has 9 rushing touchdowns now on the season. And the Aggies lead 7-0. It is rivalry day in Division III football, the final day of the regular season, and all of the big rivalries in Division III football played today. The Monon Bell game between Wabash and DePaul, the Cortica Jug game between Cortland and Ithaca. In this part of the country, you've got the Lehigh Valley rivalry between Moravian and Muhlenberg. The Mayor's Cup between Kings and Wilkes. And the Secretary's Cup between Coast Guard and Merchant Marine Academy. Oldest rivalry, or one of the oldest in college football, also playing another installment today. That's Williams versus Amherst up in Massachusetts. Restaino gives it a boot and fielded, well, eventually, maybe, dribbled, and then picked up at the 5. Oh boy, 6, actually to the 3, and down, cut down at around the 10, and then there's a flag. And I think that's a penalty on Widener on top of the bad decision. The returner had the ball deflect almost off his head, go backwards. He could have called fair catch if he wanted, but instead he elected to return it and then ran more north to south than east to west. And then compounding things on top of that, I think there was a Widener penalty. So this is going to be 1st and 10 Widener from about their own 4. Waiting for the call from the officials. No, it's another personal foul on Del Val. Well, that's now 4 personal fouls on Del Val in the span of about 10 minutes. It's well beyond time to clean it up. And again, instead of having Widener 1st and 10 at their own 5, it's going to be 1st and 10 from their own 20. So it ends up basically being a fair catch, or pretty close to that. Oh, well, okay, that makes a lot more sense. It's a personal foul on Widener, so it is there first. And it will be 1st and 10 for the Pride from about their own, call it the 5. No, yeah, 5, okay. Wind kicks up here, wind at the back of Mitchell Vierling and the Pride offense. Freshman back out there, stands on his own goal line, hands the ball off to Johnny Bauer, and Bauer is not even going to get back to the line of scrimmage. He's tackled for a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11 for the Pride. Anthony Tedesco making the tackle. The Aggies' run defense has been really, really good this year. Again, they graduated they turned over 9 all-conference players last year, and they've gotten better and better as the season's gone on. They're giving up almost just over 2 yards per carry on the ground. And that was a loss of 1 there. It'll be 2nd and 11 for the Pride, who have trips to the near side. And 1 man alone at the top of the formation. Final minute, handoff goes to Bauer, and Bauer for about 2. It'll bring up 3rd and 9 for the Pride, who will have to snap it before the end of the quarter. 31 on the play clock, 38 on the game clock. And again, we're in the snow globe effect with golden leaves swirling all over the place here. Let's see if Widener wants to run the ball, even if they don't pick up the first down, to run the clock out. If it's an incomplete pass, they're going to have to punt in this really bad territory. Boy, there's leaves everywhere in the air. Vierling is going to pass, drops back, under pressure, pass is thrown, and oof, that ball hung up there, and then the wind eventually shot it down at about the 5. I don't think the ball even got back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th and 9. And the Widener Pride will have to punt from very deep in their own end zone. Michael Raczak back onto the field. Raczak standing on the back side of the N in the Widener end zone. Chavez Stewart just outside the W around midfield. Kick is blocked, and out of the back of the end zone, safety. The Aggies block the punt, and like a shot block in basketball, it goes soaring off the sideline, and the Aggies extend the lead to 9-0. Now that was emphatically blocked. But I think, is that Javon Speed, number 41 for Del Val? No, it's Nathan Monroe. Nathan Monroe with his 2nd blocked kick of the year. And boy, did he get all of that one. Like I said, that looked like a basketball shot block. 2.7 seconds to play, so the Pride will still have to kick it. And actually, no, they won't. They're going to say that was the last play of the, or will they? Nope, still 2.7 seconds to play. I'll correct myself there. They did not recover the ball in the end zone, so no safety. They'll just get the ball at the 20. My mistake. I should have saw that they did not recover the ball in the back of the end zone as they swatted it off the field. So it ends up being a touchback, as if it was rolled. Oh, no, wait. No, that is a safety. Yeah. Okay. I don't know why they haven't put the points on the scoreboard yet. That's the confusion. We'll get it right here eventually. Yeah, it's 9-0. All right, I was right the first time. I was going to say, is there a change in the way they handle that? I didn't know it. There they go. Now the scoreboard's updated. I think it's the first time we've seen that in our 18 years covering Del Val. Someone swat a kick out of the back of the end zone. And the free kick taken by Del Val at their own 35. This is Chavez Stewart, and Stewart's got a lane to the outside, and inside the Widener 40 to the 37. Stewart has 2 kick returns for a score and did a nice job returning that one, and that is the way the first quarter comes to an end with Delaware Valley on top, 9-0. And a penalty on Widener that they'll just tack 5 yards on. So a bizarre end to the first quarter. And the wind sending everything flying around. I feel like I'm in that old Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer cartoon with the packages and the elves flying all over the place. Thank you very much. I don't think that's going to stay there very long, but I appreciate it. Darden winds up, fires down the field, and my goodness, did he overthrow that one. Looking for Dan Allen, overshot him by about 10 yards. And now that is finally the end of the first quarter. 4 different occasions we thought the first quarter would come to an end, and it finally does. That's because the free kick was an untimed play. And so now officially at the end of one, it's same score, Delaware Valley 9, Widener nothing. Scoreboard update for you from the Mayor's Cup. That game will go final long before this one does. That one started at 12 o'clock. And it's 20-0 Kings. So Kings, after getting belted last week, 49-0, has come back to shut out Wilkes. Still relatively early in the second half of that one. Delaware Valley with a 1st and 10 from the Widener 33. First play of the second quarter coming up. Darden looks like he's got an empty backfield. We'll see if that remains. Thank you very much. Aggies outgained the Pride 111-65 in that first quarter. And Darden will run. Bounces off the right side, looks for some space, and boy, nothing there. And Darden, well, the officials need to clean this up. Darden tackled again about 3 to 4 seconds after the whistle's blown, and ends up being a gain of 1 for Darden, 3rd and 9 from the Pride 32. Aggies score on a rushing touchdown by Darden. Ensuing kickoff for Widener goes disastrously. They end up getting the ball at their 5. They go backwards a yard, and then the Aggies block the punt out of the back of the end zone for the safety, giving us our 9-0 score. Darden takes the snap, rolling, freezes Vince Char in his tracks, and now will throw across the middle of the field, and the catch is made. Oh, what a catch! Across the middle and nearly getting cut in two, but John Davis makes the catch. Davis only has a handful of receptions this year. That was a nice one. It'll be 1st and 10 for Del Val from the Widener 18. Great job by Davis to keep that pattern alive. Marquise Ellis and Manigo to the top of the formation. Nigro is the lone man in the backfield. And now the Aggies will shift the formation around a little bit. 4 on the play clock. Darden looking, and Darden will look to run, and he gets nowhere. He is going to be sacked. To the delight of Vince Char, who's all kinds of excited. Char was an All-American last year. Lost a 2 on the play. I think Char was the Defensive Player of the Year last year in the conference. Aggies had an All-American on defense as well, Sean Miller. Actually closer to a loss of 3, 2nd and 12, or 2nd and 13 coming up here for Del Val. Aggies lead 9-0, 12:44 to play in the first half. Darden takes a snap, fakes one way, throws towards the end zone, and way over the head of Chavez Stewart, incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 13. And it's going to be really hard to throw the ball down the field with the wind today. Let's check in on out Misericordia Lycoming score is Lycoming leading Misericordia 21-14 with 8:29 to play in the third quarter. Darden takes a snap. He will run, and Darden plows forward. Yeah, he gets about 9 on the play. It'll be 4th and 4 for the Aggies, and I don't think in this weather they're going to try a field goal. I think they'll just go for it. If you don't get it, you'll have Widener pinned deep anyway. If Lycoming, and there's still 20-something minutes to go in that game, but if Lycoming wins that game, then Delaware Valley will be guaranteed at least a share of their 8th conference championship. They still need to win here to get the automatic bid, though. Trying to capitalize on the short field after the safety. It's 4th and 4 for Del Val. And Coach Duke Greco is going to call a timeout. First timeout taken by the Aggies. And Misericordia, we mentioned they're trailing, but they have been the master of second half escapes. Double-digit deficits with victories in the fourth quarter against Alvernia and Lebanon Valley and FDU Florham. In the last couple of weeks, they haven't needed fourth quarter comebacks. They've just crushed their opponents. Yeah, Misericordia's had a tremendous season. They're 8-1. They lost their season opener to Merchant Marine, which seemed like an afterthought, but now Merchant Marine may actually be in the NCAA playoffs. And then Misericordia has run the table since. And the win over Widener, very much the centerpiece of that turnaround. Misericordia program that has not won more than 5 games in its program history, all total combined. So quite a turnaround. 4th and 4, Aggies are going to spread out the Pride, and a false start on Del Val is going to make this harder. It's going to be 4th and close to 10 now. Corey Shriver, I believe, is the guilty party. Nope, Dante Reynolds. And now the Aggies will try a field goal. So Nick Restaino comes on to attempt one. This will be a 34-yard field goal. The wind momentarily dies down. Adams will hold. Bert Robinson to snap. Snap is there, hold is there. Kick from Restaino is away. It is fading, and it is good. Nick Restaino with a 34-yard field goal against the wind has given Delaware Valley a 12-0 lead. Good kick from the junior there, and the Aggies extend their advantage. Yeah, nice job by Restaino. The Aggies defense, which has been very, very good for 2 of the 3 drives, and then bend but don't break on the one in the middle where they intercepted the pass from Vierling at the goal line. .11:44 to play in the second quarter. Restaino's field goal makes it 12-0. Aggies with a touchdown, an extra point, a safety, and a field goal. So they've covered their bases. All that's missing now is the 2-point conversion. Pride will have a couple men back to return the kick again. Bauer and Cruz, as this one won't get anywhere near any of them. Catch is made at the 23 and up to about the 30 go the Pride. That was ended up being basically a fair catch for Gallagher, as he catches it at the 27 and gets hammered at the 30. Cooper Russell, the Aggies' Senior wide receiver makes the tackle. And the Pride bring their offense back out onto the field after a long delay, after a long break between the safety, the free kick, the change in quarter, and then the field goal. Mitchell Vierling alone in the backfield. Takes a snap. Pocket starts to dissolve. Vierling tries to run, and he will get just back to the line of scrimmage. Ends up being no gain. Anthony Nobile makes the tackle. Give him 6 inches if you're feeling generous, and the Pride will give it another shot here on 2nd and 10. We have the Aggies coaching staff right to our right. We don't generally have them close to us that often. Vierling takes a snap, drops way back, and then runs forward for about 3. Pickup of about 3 for Vierling. It'll be 3rd and 7. Vierling went backwards 6 yards and then ran forward 9. Here at Elizabeth J. Hirschman Field at Leslie C. Quick Jr. Stadium. That's a mouthful. Twins to both sides. Vierling takes the snap. Pocket starts to dissolve. Vierling under pressure, and he throws it about 7 guys deep into the sideline. So Vierling just trying to avoid the sack. It'll be 4th and 7, and the Pride will bring the punting unit back out onto the field. Widener has won 100 games even on this field, which tells you that they played somewhere else for quite a while. Widener shifts its position at the line. Last kick was blocked for Raczak. This time he stands at his own 19. Raczak gets this one away. Beautiful kick. And Stewart catches it at his own 17. Backpedaling, and now Stewart forward across the 20 to the 25. Ball stripped loose, but Stewart recovers. Stewart fumbles, but is lucky to get back to the ball. And the Aggies will take over at their own 24. Great kick from Raczak. Anthony Libera-Schulte makes a stop. And the Aggies will try and add to their lead here with 10:05 to play in the first half. Aggies have won the last 4 Keystone Cup matchups. Last time they lost was the meeting of unbeaten ranked teams in 2014. Darden takes a snap, hands it off to Nigro. Nigro shakes one guy, runs forward, bounces off a man to the 30, grinding his legs to the 31 and down to about the 32. And that's vintage Mario Nigro right there. He runs for 7 very hard yards. Aggies will bring Quadier Struthers in for Nigro. Nigro so far 4 carries for 32 yards. Aggies hand the ball off here. This is Struthers. Struthers shakes a man, 35-40, and up to the 41. It's a pickup of 8 yards and a Delaware Valley first down. Aggies run a trap play for 8 and move the chains. Aggies will bring Evan Sweet, senior tight end, out of the game. They will have Davis, Manigo, and Stewart to the top of the formation. Bottom of the formation is empty. Handoff goes to Nigro. Nigro straight ahead, runs right into the Widener defense, and is driven backwards after a pickup of 4. Now, Nigro is not going to try and fake you out. He's just going to try and run you over if he can. And not able to do so that time. Cusinelli with the tackle. It's 2nd and 6. Quadier Struthers slots as Darden will keep it himself. Darden running to the outside, nothing there. Ball stripped loose and the Pride have it. Darden tackled, ball comes loose. A flag on the play. I think that was, we'll see what the flag is, but Widener takes over after the Delaware Valley turnover. Vincent Char makes the tackle as Darden couldn't hang on. Holding penalty won't matter. And big mistake there. Darden now has fumbled the ball 3 of the last 4 games. And the Pride have it. 1st and 10 from the Aggies 45. Big play by the All-American Vincent Char there, who made the tackle, forced the fumble, and recovered it. Vierling with Bauer to his right. And now he'll shift everybody around, trips to the top of the formation. Bauer to his left. And now Pat Downey comes to the other side, and they're going to flip it to Downey. Downey looks to throw, throwing it down the sideline, and it is about 5 yards out of the side of the field. Incomplete. Looked like a Tecmo Bowl play there. Bauer took the snap and then flipped it to Downey, and Downey tried to throw it down the field, but combination of the wind and the sideline defending there. Graham Jesperson, the intended wide receiver. Also very good coverage by Rasheek Harvard. So I see the Pride go with something a little more conventional on 2nd and 10. Vierling takes the snap. Pocket starts to dissolve. Pass is thrown, and it is caught. 1st down, I believe, or should be. Yep. Nicely done. Ryan Gallagher makes the catch. 10-yard pickup. Needed 10, and that'll move the chains. Good throw from Vierling. Pride trying to take advantage of the Delaware Valley turnover. 12-0 Del Val. Midway through the 2nd quarter. Aggies with a 4-man front. Vierling takes a snap. Here comes the screen pass, and Michael Nobile is there to make the tackle. It's a loss of 1 on the play. Bauer makes the catch, but he ends up netting -1 yard, and Blaine Netterman also in. It'll be 2nd and 11. Aggies haven't sacked Vierling yet, but they've been close a bunch of times. That time by design, as the screen pass, they just let the line run through. But Nobile read that correctly and made the stop. Bauer to the right of Vierling. As Vierling takes a snap, he looks to throw down the sideline for Gallagher. Catch! Incomplete. Through Gallagher's hands, he had it and could not hang on. 3rd and 11. Beautiful throw from Vierling. Gallagher had his man beat and could not bring it in. Can't execute that play any better than that. Bauer remains in the game. Downey and Gallagher to the near sideline. 4 wide receiver set. Widener sends a man in motion. Vierling throwing, and it is incomplete. Looking too high for his intended receiver. Rasheek Harvard and Khalil Petty both there. And it'll bring up 4th and 11, and the Pride kind of in no man's land here. They had the ball at the Aggies 36. I don't think a punt makes a whole lot of sense. You're not going to try a 51-yard field goal, so they'll go for it on 4th and 11. Aggies defense will try and come up with the stop. Pride 1 for 1 on 4th down so far today. And the Aggies call timeout. Delaware Valley's second time out, 6:37 to play here in the first half. Pride started this drive at the Aggies 45 after Darden's fumble. Sheets off the sideline. We'll chase that down later on or get another one. 4th and 11. They're going to stack 3 wide receivers to the near side. Vierling takes the snap. Good protection, rolling, looking, firing, and going to be way short of the first down and way short of his intended target, incomplete. Vierling backpedaling. Vierling runs a long distance before he throws the ball, often in the other direction. And a couple of times, I understand he's trying to avoid the rush, but a couple of times it's taking his momentum way against his body, or way against his throw. So the Aggies get the hold on 4th and 11 and take over at their own 36. Darden out of the eye. That's very rare that the Aggies run out of that. Handoff goes to Nigro, and Nigro churns forward to about the 39. It's a pickup of 3. Aggies with a 12-0 lead as I just got myself a new 2 deep. Handoff to Nigro. Flag on the play, and about 2 yards, and the Aggies will have a 2nd and 12 because a false start on Del Val will erase that play, and that's probably okay, seeing as it didn't net much anyway. Evan Sweet, senior tight end, the guilty party. So 2nd and 12 for Del Val, who leads 12-0. Marquise Ellis to the top of the formation. Darden out of the shotgun with Nigro in behind him. And they'll give it to Mario again. Mario makes a man miss, 35-40, and down to about the, well, he actually makes one more man miss and gets 10 yards on 2nd and 12, maybe 11. It'll be 3rd and short. Now they're going to give him 10. It'll be 3rd and 2. Nice run by Mario there. He does not get tackled by one guy very often, and that was not the case there either. Ricocheted off one guy to a second one for picked up an additional 3 yards. See if they want to keep feeding Super Mario here. Yep. And Nigro's got the first down. And Nigro's into Widener territory as, again, he carries about 4 different guys with him for 4 yards. Now, Nigro has been a revelation here. He was, gently putting it pretty deep on the depth chart coming into this season. Dante Simmons was the Aggies' starting running back for the first half of the season. Simmons got injured against Lev Val. Quadier Struthers is still the starter, but Nigro has been great. Now it's Quadier. Quadier off the left side, 45-40, 35-34, and pulled down at the 33 as Quadier Struthers erupts through the line. And here comes a whole host of flags after the play is over. Pickup of 17 on the play. We'll see what the flag is. Quadier Struthers with an eruption. Again, we mentioned there was a scrum between the teams an hour or 2 hours before the game started. Well, Struthers has too much to say after he runs for 15 yards, 17 yards. So it does end up being a first down, but then they take it backwards 15 yards, and what it ends up being is a net gain of about 1.5 yards. So it's 1st and 10 for Del Val from the Widener 48 instead of the 33. Darden looks off Struthers, rolling, stiff arms a man, and he is sacked all the way back at the 35 of Del Val. Wow. Loss of 17 on the play. As Darden, with his legs, so often is able to buy time, but that time he ended up running himself backwards for an additional 10 yards. And it's going to be 2nd and very, very long. So the Aggies with a sack and a personal foul penalty yet again. Their 4th of the first half have kind of short-circuited their own drive. Here's a handoff to Struthers, and Struthers is going to get just 1 yard on 2nd and 23. So 3rd and 22 coming up as Vince Charr makes the tackle. He's had a big first half. Did Widener call timeout? No. Okay, I'm not sure why the clock stopped for a long time there. Now it's running again, and we'll be inside 3 minutes before the. I think the officials just forgot to signal that the clock should keep running. But the Aggies will run a lot of time anyway here. They're going to run it all the way down, I think, and call timeout. No, maybe not. Now they break the huddle. Only 8 on the play clock. 6, 5, 4. They get the offense settled. 3, 2, and they get it off. Nigro takes the carry. Nigro to the 40, 42, and Nigro picks up about 4. And it'll be 4th and way long, and the Aggies will punt it away. Cole Cusinelli gets the tackle. So the sack, really the sack more than anything. The personal foul didn't help either, but they still end up having a first down on that play. And the Aggies will rely on their defense to try and get the stop and get into the locker room with a 12-0 lead. Delaware Valley will get the ball to start the second half. Steven Adams trots onto the field. All-American punter. Was on the national team of the week earlier this season. Johnny Bauer back to return the punt. On 4th and 20, Adams takes it, gets it away. It's a might have been partially blocked, but it takes a huge Delaware Valley bounce and wobbles its way all the way down to the 22. So whether it was deflected or not, it ends up being a good kick by Adams down to the 20, and that's where the Pride will go to work with 2:14 to play. So whatever the reason for the shortened kick, it didn't matter all that much. Widener's had one good drive here in this game. The second try where they got inside Del Val's 20, but then Vierling threw an interception on the goal line. They're able to string together a couple of first downs here and there, but they missed a big opportunity after the Delaware Valley fumble on that previous possession. Vierling hands it off, and Bauer gets nothing. Bauer falls forward for 4, but way after the whistle is blown, they're going to give him a yard, and it's going to be 2nd and 9 with under 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Aggies, for their part, have only had one good drive, too. They just were able to convert on theirs, and then the safety and the field goal following the safety account for the other points. Vierling takes a snap, fakes the throw to Bauer, or handoff to Bauer, throws it, and pick up about 12 yards. Nicely done there. Good play action fake. And DeAndre Sapp with his second reception picks up 11 and a Widener first down. And he also, I believe, gets out of bounds. Yeah, so the clock stops with 1:32 to play. Pride with 2 timeouts. Vierling again, play action fake, under pressure, and he is sacked. And there's that man again for Delaware Valley. It's Michael Nobile, among the nation's leader in tackles for loss, and that's the reason why. Chops him down at the legs. It's a loss of 10, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 20. And that, see what Widener wants to do, but I would guess they're going to be very conservative here now. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're showing no urgency. They're going to let the clock run inside a minute. 14 seconds to 14 seconds on the play clock, and now Widener finally gets themselves set with 52 seconds to play in the first half. Vierling takes a snap, 2nd and long. Vierling looking to throw, looking for Gallagher, caught! Oh, what a catch by Gallagher. Well, so much for playing conservatively. All the way into Aggies territory to the 40-yard line. Not quite that far, 46-yard line. 41.9 seconds to play. Now Vierling can throw a pretty deep ball, and Gallagher runs underneath it, beating Khalil Petty on that play. So Widener's still in business here. Vierling takes a snap, throwing the same pattern. Catch is made again. No, incomplete. Incomplete. Gallagher could not come down with it and stay in bounds. So it'll be 2nd and 10 with 36 seconds to play. And boy, Khalil Petty has gotten roasted on 3 straight plays here. Maybe time to play off Gallagher a little bit. Well, if it works, why not keep trying it? Petty's still going to play press coverage. Vierling takes the snap, backing up, and he's sacked. And a whole host of Aggies, Dan Finelli and Kenyon Jones among them. Billy Walsh also in on the tackle. You can pick a man, any man there. I thought Finelli had him, but that's a loss of 11. And now the Pride will pack it in. 22 seconds on the play clock, and they're going to let the last 10 seconds run off here. Some murmuring in the crowd, but that's the right call on 3rd and 20-something. So, okay, well, Widener apparently called timeout with 1 second to play with their players walking towards the locker room. I don't know why. And now they will have to take a snap. Khalil Petty talking with Pat Downing, I believe, of the Pride. The Pride don't appear to have a full unit ready to snap the ball. They've got, look like they have about 12 offensive linemen on the field. They have more than a full unit, I guess. All right, they get themselves set. I'm not sure what the point of that was, but now they're just going to take a knee on, again, 3rd and 21. Well, maybe not. No, they decided they're going to not take a knee. They're going to take a shot. Why not? I'm not sure. I guess maybe it just didn't get communicated quickly enough. But Vierling will drop back and give it a heave. And he won't give it a heave. He throws it towards the middle of the field. 45, 40, spinning and dodging and down to the 37 before he's tackled. So Gallagher makes the catch and run, but the Aggies none the worse for the wear, and that will be the way the first half comes to a close. A few more yards for Gallagher, who had a really good first half. And the Aggies defense also with a good first half. They go into the locker room with a 12-0 lead. We're going to take a break for a few minutes here, and then we'll get back with your first half statistics.
Ladies and gentlemen, I direct your attention to the field and entering the field, the Pride Pack Dance Team. They've returned this year, 2018, to continue to entertain fans at Widener sporting events. The president of the Pride Pack is Gianna Reed. The vice president is Alexis Raimondos.
Thank you very much.